every so often a lost invention pops up that makes you go, wait, they had that back then? Tonight we're uncovering 10 lost technologies that the world either forgot or was never supposed to remember. Let's open up the files. Alright, first up is the Baghdad battery. Found in Iraq, this thing looks like, well, a clay pot. But inside, copper cylinders, iron rods, and traces of acidic substance. It's believed to be around 2,000 years old. And yeah, it might have been used to generate electricity. So if that's true, why? What were they powering in ancient Mesopotamia? A charging dock for their reed tablet? Some historians insist it's just coincidence, ritualistic maybe. But others, they think it may have powered low voltage reactions, gold plating art, or, yes, even some kind of early tech. One museum curator tried filling a replica with vinegar. It pulsed, not a lot, but enough to raise an eyebrow. It's not Iron Man tech, obviously, but a culture before the birth of Christianity may have discovered electricity, and then quietly buried it. Try not to think about what else they buried. The Antikythera mechanism was found on a Roman shipwreck off the coast of Greece, and it's straight up weird. It dates back to 100 BCE and looks like clockwork, built by a steampunk time traveller. Turns out it's an analog computer designed to predict the positions of planets and eclipses. By turning a crank, yeah, it had at least 30 precision gears. Some people thought it was a hoax when it was found back in 1901. Others just couldn't process what it meant. This level of tech shouldn't have existed for at least another 1,000 years. And yet, here it is. Some damaged gears have never been reconstructed fully. But the dude who made this, he either had help from something or someone, or was just an isolated genius living in the wrong century. Either way, the mechanism vanished from history until the sea gave it back. In the middle of total Cold War drama, the Soviet Union allegedly tried to control the weather. Let's pause there. Yes, I said, weather control. Specifically during the Vietnam era, the US and the Soviets raced into strange scientific areas, and this includes something called cloud seeding. The Soviets reportedly experimented with equipment that could generate electrical charges strong enough to alter rainfall patterns. We're talking outdoors electromagnetic generators designed to influence clouds. Sounds like sci-fi. But declassified documents from Project Cirrus on the US side confirm that both nations were playing with this idea. Why does this matter now? Because if any of it worked, imagine what else they could manipulate. Crops, droughts, wildfires that seem out of season. There's barely a trace of these devices left now. Nothing concrete, just rumours and rain shadows. Archaeologists call it a sunstone, or solar compass, a translucent crystal found in Viking grave sites. Sounds unimpressive. Until you find out it could locate the sun's position, even in complete cloud cover. Seriously. The Vikings may have used this tech to navigate the North Atlantic, centuries before compasses hit the mainstream. Scientists tested these crystals in labs and, yeah, they bend light in precise ways. The method is simple but brilliant. Hold the stone to the stormy sky, rotate it until the scattered sunlight beams exactly, and that line? That's true magnetic north. Most of these stones were discarded or lost. Maybe because Christianity wiped out Nordic spiritual practices. Or maybe they didn't want this tech known. Either way, next time someone tells you GPS is amazing, remember some bearded guy figured it out with a rock and zero visibility. Nikola Tesla wanted free energy for all. He also built a 187-foot tower on Long Island in 1901 called Wardenclyffe. It looked like something out of a retro sci-fi comic. Tesla believed he could beam wireless electricity across the planet using Earth as a conductor. Wild, right? But the tower was dismantled just a few years later. Why? Some point to lack of funding. Others say companies like JP Morgan realised they couldn't make a fortune off free energy and pulled the plug, maybe literally. Tesla died broke. And most of his notes vanished, seized by the US government. Pieces of his tower plans occasionally pop up online, but they're fragmented, like something deliberately erased, a potentially planet-saving invention, gone or hidden, depending on how far down the rabbit hole you want to slide. Roman concrete still holds together structures like the Pantheon and aqueducts over 2,000 years later. Meanwhile, we patch our parking lots every spring. Their secret? A recipe using volcanic ash and seawater that actually grows stronger over time. Scientists only cracked part of the formula recently, and it's insanely complex. The ash reacts with salt water to create rare crystals that prevent cracks from spreading, and yet no clear manual exists. Just trial and error, buried in ruins. Some even claim this knowledge disappeared, on purpose, during regime changes. Why? Because rebuilding Rome with this material was too expensive or, again, too unchartable. Concrete that repairs itself? You'd think every architect would demand it. But it's nowhere in modern blueprints. It seems nature and politics both had a hand in erasing a miracle mix. Damascus steel was used to forge some of the strongest blades in history. It was flexible, razor sharp, and had these hypnotic swirling patterns. Made in the Middle East as early as 300 BC, the exact process was a tightly held secret, until it just vanished. By the 18th century we stopped making it, not because we upgraded, because no one could remember how to. Like an elite blacksmithing spell got lost, scientists tried recreating it, using carbon nanostructures, adding trace amounts of vanadium and molybdenum, but none matched the original. Some claim ancient smiths used ore from now extinct mines. Others whisper that Damascus blades taught themselves to change. Regardless, this wasn't just metal, it was mastery. And somewhere between trade embargoes and colonialism, that mastery turned to myth. The Nazi bell, or Die Glocke, has been whispered about for decades. Said to be a secret Nazi tech project near the end of Tupper. We won't somewhere with her. It allegedly looked like a giant metal bell, stood 5 meters tall, and emitted a violent blue glow. Witnesses said it levitated, or melted time, or both. It's all very X-Files, but Polish intelligence reports described unusual radiation phenomena at the site. Some think it was an anti-gravity experiment. Others say time travel. Whatever it was, if it existed, it vanished, along with the scientists who worked on it. You know what else vanished? All original documents. Deleted, destroyed, or buried in bunkers. Makes you wonder, was this the first real attempt at breaking physics, or just smoke from a failed ambition? Either way, the bell never rang again. High in the Andes Mountains, ancient Incan engineers built cities like Machu Picchu without mortar. Their stone walls, perfectly fitted to survive earthquakes for centuries. The stones were cut so precisely, not even a blade of grass fits between them. What's weirder is that the pattern absorbs seismic energy, letting each stone shift slightly during a quake, then settle back in place. Modern architects still don't fully understand how they pulled it off. No blueprints, no writings, just knowledge embedded in rock. Some theorise lost construction tech, or maybe sound-based tools. Others point to ancient traditions passed through generations until colonisation severed the chain. Either way, this quiet genius built to outlast us all. And it has. The Vaimanika Shastra is an ancient Sanskrit text describing flying machines, like detailed schematics. 4 types of vimanas, crafts capable of vertical lift, advanced propulsion systems, and interstellar flight. The book surfaced in the early 20th century, but refers to guidance centuries older. Most historians call it myth. But aeronautical engineers who've studied it say some concepts, like mercury propulsion, weren't explored seriously until the 21st century. So where did those ideas come from? Were these the imagination of a poet, or echoes of something remembered in folklore? Some even suggest the texts align with visual depictions found in temples, aerial battles carved in stone. Whatever it is, our ancestors were either brilliant, lucky, or telling stories based on memories of something long gone. Thanks for tagging along, you strange and curious human. If this felt like information you weren't supposed to know, you're not alone. Hit like, subscribe, and remember, we've got new mysteries uploaded every weeknight. Stay warm, stay weird, and as always, that was your dose of the unknown. See you in the next file. Subscribe for more of the unknown